Yeah. Hey to everybody who will be watching this in the recording. Um, this is the public video fireside chat we have in order to share the updates, what's going on, to discuss the community questions that gathered so far, to be able to express some ideas we share inside of a small working group. I will be facilitating this call. We will start with the quick updates from me and the team on what happened lately, and there could be, of course, lots of updates. Maybe we'll focus more of like 1 2 months, and afterwards we will kind of have more of the like weekly or bi-weekly updates. And then we can open up the questions, what you want to discuss together as a group, what are the open questions, and go one by one, hopefully solve them, or at least answer, or at least share the ideas. So talking about the updates in the DGOV, I think last big community event was at Web3. We had the DGOV track and 3 days full of content there. All of them, well, like all the recordings and speakers you can find at the DGOV forum at forum.dgov.foundation. Then I think since September, we stopped issuing the newsletter, which is a bit sad, but also the reason for that was that the activity on it dropped like 2 times. And also there's like more than a year of developing this newsletter. It was a bit of the spontaneous thing to start it back 1 year ago when we wanted to prepare a conference. We thought that that would be connected with the conference, and we overviewed the news in the industry, then we overviewed the events in the community and so on. So I think that we will continue that after some time, and the like good reason to continue that would be first understanding the need, like what the community wants to get from it, what we want to see in this newsletter, and also some requests like why don't we get this newsletter. That would help. If you're missing it, let us know. But instead of the newsletter which dropped, another thing that came really well was the forum. So we started it around spring, and first like 2-3 months it was pretty empty, but recently we got like lots of activity going on there, around 4,000 page views per month, and lots of topics, lots of discussions, lots of open working groups. Check it out again at forum.dgov.foundation. The forum, on the other hand, had really clear sense out of the community. So we have the chat, the DGOV chat in Telegram, and I think if you go to the vacation or just don't open it for like 3 days, you'll see like 300 messages there. And some messages are like getting outdated fast, and it's hard to continue. Sometimes there are really great conversations like on political philosophy or events that are happening, but they rarely get the follow-up. And the request was for a place where some continuous conversations can happen, where if you asking for something, for example, you're doing the research and you need some support with that, either like for interviewing the practitioners, or you want to collect a working group around some brand or stuff like that, you can start, or you want to share your recent findings and get substantial feedback for that, you can open up a topic. There are like events, working groups, and materials categories, and even random. If you just want to share something fun or something off topic, it's also possible. Use forum for that, and we see that it's developing pretty cool. And another like changing in our mind, like with our strategy, we like for more than a year we have our strategy published. It's mostly a collection of ideas around what we want to see. Like at some time in the future, we might want to see something like a DGOV house, a place around big conferences where DGOV community can meet, or we want to see, I don't know, movie about DGOV scene or something like that. We collect all of the ideas, and we don't have time and resources to do all of that. It's more like a crowdsourced thing that we would be keen to share with anybody who wants to help with that. Check the strategy. But for the DGOV Foundation, we kind of outlined main directions of work around education, advocacy, and community. So the education is about collecting knowledge, sharing knowledge, on DGOV topics like on-chain governance, soft governance, legal stuff, and so on. So we want to share as much knowledge as we can from our community. The advocacy is about interacting with the external communities, so bringing attention of bigger circles. I don't know, say guys like World Economic Forum, or maybe other fields like, for example, I don't know, get more politicians to know about what's happening in the DGOV, or maybe any external group that is not inside DGOV now. Like if the success of DGOV in the long run would be connected with us working together, or they should know like who do we want to know about DGOV, who needs to get on board or be at least knowledgeable and not saying it's something wrong, but get understanding with why it's important, what's happening with external groups. This is about advocacy. Also, we started to kind of identify. We did this DGOV survey where we tried to get first of all feedback on our work till the moment, and also some ideas on the identification now. Who are the people now? And I sent the link to the chat. We see that most of the people now in the community, at least from those who answered the survey, were people from academic researcher background, community building background, entrepreneurs, founders, DAO members and practitioners, cooperative members, consultants, and so on. And from the people who we'd like to get to the network, now who are the most important audiences to be connected, and possibly also get somebody from them inside, were the political scientists who do governance research and academics, social scientists, sociologists, economists, artists, judges, lawyers, politicians, philosophers, and so on. So advocacy is something around representing these topics on the conferences or writing some public articles and so on. And finally, the community is taking care about the people who are here, helping them to get funding for their projects, or setting up the team, or understanding what's needed to be done in the space, like what are the bottlenecks and so on. So those are the directions. Maybe we'll publish something on that in some future. And the final point that also is most important, that takes all of our attention now, is the DGOV Council. Last year we got the council in January, which was a big success, and we want to repeat that. And this year we want to, as our community has matured, one of the main differentiators from the last year, I just remember last year we got around 50-60 people most active in this space, like from Aragon, DAO Stack, Ethereum, and so on. And we all mostly discussed the on-chain governance and the challenges. And we had lots of exercises for building the connections and discussing tough stuff, and also small but pretty cool parties. This year, we want to have more of a collaborative agenda together with the members. So we won't be super prescriptive about 2 p.m. this person talks, 3 p.m. this fishbowl happens. We would be collecting the requests and proposals for lightning talks, topics, and so on, and we'll be more of facilitators of the space. So we will have a nice location, which will be full node, and councils happening 24, 26 of January. We'll have full node. We will have pre-party at supermarket. We will have nice food as always, and we will have some basic grid of we have these rooms, we have these places, and together we will fill that out. And this call is one in its kind. This is the first call we do publicly to first of all share what's happening on, but also to give the space for such collaboration. Whew. I hope it covered the most things, but if I miss something, please add. Maybe Ion, team, Anya, do you have anything to add?
Thanks so much, Max. That was great. I don't have a lot to add, except that I would love to see new angles coming in to support distributed governance. And I hope that like the complex system thinker and the people which think in networks and in the terms of collaboration, really that this is, I would love to see more collaboration coming together in that direction. For me, DGOV is really to allow us to explore together what are other options to distribute power to manage limited shared resources. So I hope that we explore this together. Thanks for the very good summary. Thanks.
Hey Aryan, first of all, it's good to see you here. I miss your face actually, and hope we're gonna speak more about Lexon as well. The only thing that I would like to add is something that I've written into the chat as well. So this is, what do we advocate for? This is a huge part that was not really mentioned within the advocacy point. And it's not only about how we communicate with the community, but it's also about what we stand for. Because so far, I think that we started somewhere and then the community grew big and we got the results from our survey. And the survey says that we need to be as inclusive as possible and that we need to include a lot of people from different areas. And how do we get there and what do we all stand for is, to me, actually still an open question. So councils are pretty much a thing that happens just because we do want to get clarity regarding what is it that everybody bring on the table, or what is it that everybody researches, what is it that people are curious about when it comes to the distributed governance, and what are the open topics that we would like to address. So this is probably something that is going to go out. We're going to have an open call to the whole community about what is it that people want to see on the council, and this is why we have the fluid agenda, which I love, and is a format that I wasn't very familiar with before, but I think that this brings it's just another type of a collaboration that I've never seen before, and maybe these are the points that I wanted to highlight as well. But yeah, thank you, Max. That was very, very exhaustive.
Great points. Thank you.
Yeah, it's also one idea for the council from our side to facilitate or having an open space for your ideas on the DGOV identity at the moment. Yeah, and you can also contribute and now bring your own agenda points if you want. I mean, Ayan and Luke, if you want to have, or if you have a question and want to see something on the next agenda after this update, you can also ask questions if you want to.
Okay, so next on our plan, thanks for the point, Ian. And next on the plan, we thought that there would be some questions from the community on what needs to be answered or what needs to be discussed. So Arjan and Luke, do you have anything you would like to discuss?
Not at this point. Mainly interested in listening about the council and how I can contribute.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's actually the same for me. I'm too new to say anything sensible at this stage. about what should be done on the council.
Okay. Ian, if could you open up the mural?
Yeah.
And start from the persona thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So last Friday and Saturday we got the kickoff working session on the council, where we started with the who's gonna go to this event, who do we want to kind of serve with it. And after brief discussion, we kind of called this person a DGOV activist. So the person who's working in the DGOV space, anyhow, if he feels like that he's supporting the implementation of distributed governance to any form of organization, and he's taking active role in it, that's the person we would like to see at the event. And on the right, you could see the tasks or jobs to be done. What we assume this person needs to do. We also DGOV activists in a way, so we thought about what we have in mind, but also we understand that all this map we were gonna show, now it's not full or finished. If we miss something, please let us know. Send us the card. I need as a DGOV activist, I need this and that. I have such a problem, I have such a desire, and so on. So we can kind of work with that. So anyways, the main tasks are connected with building social connections in the space, presenting their work, learning more about what's happening, sharing intent and frustration, potentially finding some solutions to that, finding allies with that, identify what should I work on, raise funds to the existing projects. So all of this tasks I see as what's needed to be, what we can, in the context of the DGOV Council, what needs we want to address. And then there are green and red cards, which describe the green are about nice stuff we like in the events context, and red is undesirable things. So in green, we like to get swag, we like to get really nice structured feedback, we like to get nice food, and be able to propose my own sessions. With the hurdles or problems, there could be lack of the place for intimate conversations, gossiping we called it, or for example unclear, we talk for 2 days and no clear outcomes. That is also things that bothers me a lot. So on the right thing you can see this ideas about what this person possibly has in mind, and on the left you can see our value proposition to that. We thought about each stuff, and we haven't polished or prioritized all of that. We kind of just brainstormed, so everybody who was in the meeting could put a card as an idea what can be done. And we try to address this with, for example, with the need of being able to present my work and get feedback. We have the sliding session format. For the gossiping and intimate conversations, we have dinners and breakout areas and so on. For the inspiration or well-being, we have meditation, yoga session. So we kind of created all of that ideas. We try to answer those bad stuff and the good stuff also in this proposition in general. And then we try to, if you can move to the clustering, we copied all of those cards. So this is our ideas, deliverables all mixed together. We try to understand what are the directions of work in general. So we kind of mixed them, and we started to cluster them together. What goes with what, so there were a bunch of ideas around collecting the knowledge, which we called harvesting. So that by the end of the event, there would be nicely recorded what happened in the video format, in the text meeting notes, in the report, who went and what was discussed. So you can kind of go back and look it up, or if you haven't been present, you can check it. So we call it harvesting. And then we got like cluster by cluster and try to understand what was it about. The identification was about understanding how we where we placed, like where I'm placed in this ecosystem, who's else there, where is the, like, what is DGOV, what's not DGOV, what are the like big projects you need to track and so on. So that would be about creating some space and some process so people can kind of together map the industry. And with every other cluster, it was it had some idea, you know, what could be the end deliverable be called, and we tried to assign those directions across our small team. You can see the faces, like the one on the left is kind of leading person and the others are supporting people. And again, it's super fresh and super rough. We can totally like add additional cards and additional directions if we miss something. Possibly we can have like some people are leading more than one direction, and Luke answering a question a bit. If you feel like you want to head any of those directions, that would be very welcome, I think. So this is our current state of mind of what's needed to be done in order for the council to be successful. And it's the best we have till now. We also have a forum topic with links and discussions. So in forum or in calls like that, or in the DGOV chat or in the private chat, you can tell any of us or like share the information that I want to add this, I want to do this. So it's like we practice bureaucracy in a way. So if you're ready to really do something, we will be trying to, you know, to allow you to do that in the most efficient way. Have it satisfied your question, Luke? Cool.
The only thing I was a bit worried about is Ian having so much to do that I worry about his health.
No, I'm just the way it works is just having like the leadership first, like feeling responsible that this will be done, but you don't have to do it on your own. You can also ask for help. It's just to ensure that, for example, breakout and workspaces are there at the council, and I can ask you, can you please go for this task?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, then that's good. Because you're gonna be on the ground, so it's easier for you to arrange that, right?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Well, it feels like our first call would be brief and nice. No hard question. I was really like I had a really tiny fear that somebody would come and tell us like, hey, you're doing this wrong, you need to change this or something like that. But it was just this small one-sided talk. Maybe it will inspire like people to come to the next ones, because it's really, we do this in order to change to the better state. Or also answer, like we got lots of requests for contribution lately, but we are sometimes are not sure, like we don't have a clear like manager who has like this task and can, you know, just assign. We're like, we have this open ideas that sometimes need to be discussed, how to do that, or if I can do something like we want to discuss that. With our limited time, we will try to do that through these public calls. And thanks for being our first visitors, Arjan and Luke. Great to have you here. Thanks for your interest. Thanks for the DGOV team to kick in all of this stuff together. Anya, Ian, team. Let's call it.
Thank you, guys. I wish you also a nice day, and thanks for the first call. Let's see that this becomes a habit, and I think then more people will join. Curious what comes.
Yeah, same here. And also bad feedbacks welcomed as well, because this is how we learn. So all good. I hope that people are actually going to contribute both in a good way and in a bad way, so we can actually have a learning experience. Also, one thing that I would add, it's not only about good food, it's also providing the place to meditate. I can see that that's happening more and more often on conferences like these. And I would actually love to have a place where we can just lay back, kind of get on the same wavelength or something like that. So yeah, a meditation place, very welcome. And I know that we had it previously, and I know that Full Note actually offers it. So that's going to be awesome. Thank you, Max, though. It was a pleasure to hear you say all of these things and how we are distributing the work. It looks great.
Sounds great. Okay, ciao, ciao.
Ciao.